Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We're really happy to have you here with us today. If you're new here, this is a place where we help you improve your English through simple, natural conversations that you can use in real life.
Yes, exactly. Our goal is to help you feel more comfortable speaking English in everyday situations, whether you're talking to friends, meeting new people, or using English at work.
And before we start today's lesson, let's take a moment to ask, how are you doing today? We hope you're having a great day wherever you are in the world.
Maybe you're watching this video at home, maybe you're practicing your English during a break, or maybe you're learning English while commuting to work.
Whatever the situation is, we're really glad you decided to spend a few minutes learning with us.
Now, today's topic is something very useful, especially when you meet new people or when you talk in professional situations.
Yes, today we're going to talk about how to talk about your job in English.
This is a very common topic in conversations because people often ask questions like, "What do you do?" or "Where do you work?"
And sometimes English learners don't always know how to answer these questions naturally.
So, in this video, we're going to explore different ways to talk about your job, describe what you do, and explain your work life in English.
We'll also talk about work schedules, coworkers, job interviews, and different types of jobs.
By the end of this lesson, you'll feel much more confident talking about your job in English conversations.
But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video if you enjoy learning English with us.
It really helps the channel grow and allows us to create more lessons like this for you.
So, let's start with a very simple but important question that people often ask in English conversations. What do you do?
Yes, this is one of the most common questions when you meet someone for the first time, especially in professional or social situations.
When someone asks, "What do you do?" they're asking about your job or your profession.
And there are many different ways to answer this question depending on how much detail you want to give.
The simplest way is to say your job title.
For example, you can say, "I'm a teacher," "I'm an engineer," or "I'm a student."
Yes, that's clear and direct. And it's perfect for everyday conversations.
But sometimes you may want to give a little more information about what you actually do.
Exactly. Instead of just saying your job title, you can explain your role.
For example, "I work as a graphic designer and I create visual content for brands."
Or, "I work in marketing and I help companies promote their products online."
This helps the other person understand your job better and makes the conversation more interesting.
Another way to answer is by using "I work in" followed by a field or industry.
For example, "I work in finance," "I work in healthcare," or "I work in education."
You can also combine both.
For example, "I work in IT and I'm a software developer."
That sounds very natural and professional.
The key is to keep your answer simple, clear, and natural.
And with practice, you'll feel more confident answering this question in real conversations.
Now that we know how to describe what we do, let's talk about another common topic, our work schedule.
Yes, this is something people often talk about when they discuss their job.
For example, someone might ask, "What are your working hours?" Or, "What does your typical day look like?"
And there are many ways to answer that.
You can say something simple like, "I usually start work at 9 a.m. and finish at 5 p.m."
Or, "I work from Monday to Friday."
Some people also have different schedules.
For example, "I work night shifts," or "My schedule changes every week."
That's true. And nowadays, many people also work remotely.
Yes, you might hear someone say, "I work from home most of the time."
Or, "I work in a hybrid setup, so I go to the office a few days a week."
Another important part of talking about your job is talking about your coworkers.
Yes, because the people you work with are a big part of your daily life.
For example, you can say, I work with a small team.
Or, my coworkers are really friendly and supportive.
Some people might also say, I collaborate with different departments.
Or, I'm part of a large team.
Talking about your schedule and coworkers helps you describe your work life more clearly.
And it makes your English sound more natural in real conversations.
Now, let's talk about something very important. When discussing jobs, job interviews.
Yes, job interviews can be stressful, especially if you have to do them in English.
That's true. Many English learners feel nervous because they're not sure how to answer common interview questions.
But the good news is that many interview questions are very similar, so you can prepare in advance.
One of the most common questions is, can you tell me about yourself?
This question is not asking about your whole life, but mainly about your professional background.
For example, you could say, I'm a marketing specialist with 3 years of experience, and I enjoy working on digital campaigns.
Another common question is, what are your strengths?
Here, you can talk about your skills.
For example, I'm very organized and I'm good at managing my time.
Interviewers may also ask, what are your weaknesses?
This can be a difficult question, but it's important to answer honestly and show that you are improving.
For example, sometimes I focus too much on details, but I'm learning to manage my time better.
Another very common question is, why do you want to work here?
In this case, you just show that you know something about the company.
For example, I like your company because it values innovation, and I want to be part of that environment.
Preparing answers to these questions can help you feel more confident.
Now let's talk about another important aspect of work, daily routines and work habits.
Yes, this is something people often discuss when they talk about their job in more detail, especially when they want to explain what their typical day looks like.
Many people like to describe what they usually do during a normal workday.
For example, someone might say, I usually start my day by checking my emails and organizing my tasks.
Or, the first thing I do in the morning is review my schedule and plan my priorities.
These kinds of sentences help describe your daily routine in a clear and natural way.
Some people also talk about how they organize their work throughout the day.
For example, I like to plan my day in advance so I can stay focused.
Or, I make a to do list every morning to keep track of my tasks.
Work habits are also very important when talking about your job.
Yes, because habits describe how you work and how you manage your time and responsibilities.
For example, someone might say, I try to stay focused and avoid distractions while I'm working.
Or, I like to complete my most important tasks in the morning when I have more energy.
Some people also mention taking breaks during the day.
Yes, for example, I take short breaks to stay productive and avoid feeling tired.
Others might say, I usually have a lunch break around noon.
Meetings are also a big part of many jobs.
For example, I spend a lot of time in meetings with my team.
Or, I have daily meetings to discuss our progress.
Some people work in teams while others work more independently.
Yes, someone might say, I work closely with my team on different projects.
Or I work independently most of the time, so I manage my own schedule.
Talking about your daily routine and work habits helps people understand your job better.
Now, let's talk about different types of jobs, because not everyone works in the same way.
Yes, today there are many different ways people can work, depending on their lifestyle, goals, and personal preferences.
One of the most common types of jobs is full-time work.
A full time job usually means working around 35 to 40 hours per week.
People with full-time jobs often have a fixed schedule and a stable routine.
For example, they might work from Monday to Friday, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
This type of job often provides stability and regular income.
Another type of job is part-time work.
Part-time jobs involve fewer hours than full-time jobs.
For example, someone might work only a few hours per day or only a few days per week.
This type of job is common for students or people who want more flexibility in their schedule.
Today, many people also work as freelancers.
Yes, freelancers usually work independently and often choose their own projects and clients.
For example, a freelancer might be a writer, graphic designer, translator, or developer.
One advantage of freelance work is flexibility.
Yes, freelancers can often choose when and where they work, which can be very convenient.
However, freelance work can also be less stable.
That's true because freelancers may not always have a regular income or long-term contracts.
Some people also work remotely.
That means they work from home or from any location instead of going to a traditional office.
Remote work has become more common in recent years, especially with digital jobs.
Other people still work in offices, factories, hospitals, or different workplaces depending on their profession.
Some jobs are more physical, while others are more focused on technology or communication.
Understanding these different types of jobs can help you describe your own work situation more clearly.
Now, let's talk about another important aspect of work: workplace culture and benefits.
Yes, this is something people often mention when they describe their job, especially when they want to explain what it feels like to work in a particular company.
Workplace culture refers to the environment and atmosphere in a company.
It includes how people communicate, how teams collaborate, and how employees are treated on a daily basis.
For example, some companies have a very relaxed and friendly culture.
In that case, someone might say, the work environment is very relaxed and people are easy to talk to.
Other companies may be more formal and structured.
Yes, someone might say, the company has a professional environment with clear rules and expectations.
Workplace culture also includes how people work together.
For example, we work closely as a team and everyone supports each other.
Or, I collaborate with different teams on various projects.
Another important part of talking about your job is discussing benefits.
Yes, benefits are the advantages you receive in addition to your salary.
For example, many jobs offer health insurance or paid vacation.
Some companies also provide flexible working hours.
For example, someone might say, I like my job because I can choose my working hours.
Others may offer remote work options.
Yes, for example, I can work from home a few days a week.
Some companies also invest in their employees' development.
For example, my company offers training programs and opportunities to improve my skills.
In recent years, work-life balance has also become very important.
Yes, many people want a job that allows them to balance their professional life and personal life.
For example, someone might say, I like my job because it gives me enough time for my personal life.
Talking about workplace culture and benefits helps you describe your job in a more complete and realistic way.
Now, let's go back to one of the most common questions in English conversations. What do you do?
Yes, this question seems very simple, but in reality, many English learners find it difficult to answer in a natural and confident way.
The good news is that there are several easy and natural ways to answer this question, depending on the situation.
The simplest way is to say your job title.
For example, you can say, I'm a teacher, I'm an engineer, I'm a student, or I'm a manager.
This kind of answer is short, clear, and perfect for casual conversations.
But if you want to sound more natural and more interesting, you can add a little more detail about what you actually do.
For example, instead of just saying, I'm a designer, you can say, I'm a graphic designer, and I create visual content for brands.
Or, I work in marketing and I help companies grow their online presence.
This helps the other person understand your role better and keeps the conversation going.
Another natural way to answer is by using the expression I work in, followed by your field or industry.
For example, I work in finance, I work in education, or I work in healthcare.
You can also combine both your field and your role.
Yes, for example, I work in IT and I'm a software developer.
This sounds more complete and more professional.
It's also important to adapt your answer depending on who you're talking to.
For example, in a casual conversation with a friend, a short answer is usually enough.
But in a job interview or a professional situation, it's better to give a more detailed and structured answer.
You can also mention what you enjoy about your job,
For example, I'm a teacher and I really enjoy helping students learn and grow.
or I work in customer service and I like interacting with people.
Adding this kind of detail makes your answer more personal and engaging.
The most important thing is to stay simple, clear, and natural.
And with practice, answering this question will become easier and more automatic.
This is a very useful skill because you will hear this question many times in English conversations.
So now you know how to talk about your job in English in a simple and natural way.
Yes, we've seen different ways to describe what you do, your routine, and your work environment.
The more you practice these expressions, the more confident you will feel when speaking.
Try to use these sentences in your daily life or when you meet new people.
Thanks for watching and learning with us.
And don't forget to subscribe for more English lessons.
See you in the next video.